All right, one of the big debates here, scientifically speaking, in the world of health recently has been autism. Where does it come from? Why is its rate increased so dramatically over the last few years? Well, there's a brand new study in my hand here. A landmark report finds vaccination is the dominant risk factor for autism spectrum disorder. Here it is. I need an expert on this. That's why Peter McCullough is here, the chief scientific officer at the wellness company. Doctor, nice to see you today. This is breaking news, just hitting my desk. This is important. Bobby Kennedy has been run through the ringer for this. People have been made fun of. Anybody that questioned vaccines and said autism has no relationship in any way to vaccines. Here's the study, sir. What do you say?
Steve, I'm the senior author on the study. And, the last time the Institute of Medicine visited this was 2 decades ago. And a lot of information has accumulated now, over 130 studies. The vast majority, 79%, indicate the vaccines, in fact, given in combination, are a risk factor for the development of autism spectrum disorder. This is the most comprehensive analysis ever assembled in history. I don't think it's going to be eclipsed anytime soon. This now, I think, will set the stage for some very critical conversations that have to happen about the childhood vaccine schedule.
All right, so it's not cause and effect. Let's be clear. It's not cause and effect, if this, then this. But there is a relationship. It's something people should take seriously. That's what you're telling me.
That's correct. It's considered a risk factor because it's probably easily half or more of autism, has that dependence. Now, there are other factors: older parents, premature delivery, exposures of drugs in utero. And the ones that really turned up to be the big ones were antipsychotics and anti-seizure drugs, not Tylenol. I think we were given a bit of a misdirection on that press release a month or so ago. It's really heavy-duty drugs during pregnancy that have a relationship. The good news is 12 studies indicate that a child born today who's healthy remains healthier and free of these problems if they take no vaccines.
Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it? I mean, the childhood vaccine schedule was a handful when I was born. Now it's a cart full, it's a truckload of vaccines now. I don't know what they're all for, but the fact of the matter is, if you're pregnant, first of all, don't take drugs you don't need. Avoid them. Tylenol or anything else. Just don't take them. If you don't need them, don't do it. Don't put yourself in that position. And for children, it's okay for parents to ask questions, especially when doctors like yourself are on the front lines doing the hard work and the research, right?
Correct. And some vaccines, Steve, are just more appropriate later in life. The best example is hepatitis B shot. Now, I'm a cardiologist. I took it, as I entered my work in the medical field. That's when it should be given, not on the first day of life.
Exactly right. Those people are not at risk of hepatitis B. All right, let's shift gears now. Another problem facing America. I read a study that in 2000, a young man in their 20s had double the testosterone of a young man in their 20s today. How is that possible? What has happened to the world, doctor?
That's an incredible temporal change. Since 1970 to now, Steve, testosterone levels have plummeted across all age groups. And we don't know if it's, hormones in the meat or some type of feminization that's happening to men all over the country. But many are looking for ways to boost testosterone without having to take injections.
Yeah. So what are some of the common signs? Look, I'm older now. I'm not in my 20s. I'm going to admit it here for everybody. I'm not in my 20s. What are some of the common signs, though? You get into your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. People start to lose their step. What happens? They lose muscle, lose bone. What happens?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, losing muscle mass, energy, vitality, reducing libido or interested, in sexual relations. All of these things can happen. And now at the Wellness Company, we've put together a solution. We've picked the top 6 medicinal herbs that have evidence demonstrating in studies that they can boost production of testosterone by the Leydig cells. These are the critical cells in the testes.
So that's incredibly important if you want to remain, strong and active in other ways. I mean, this is the way to get there, and the Wellness Company has addressed that, right? I see the smile on your face, but that's the truth. Men want to remain men, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. They want to stay strong and vital. One other thing I saw here recently, ivermectin has been primarily made overseas for years and years. Ivermectin, anybody that knows my story knows that I took it when I had COVID. It brought me out of it in about 8 hours. People can believe whatever they want. My experience was a personal success story with ivermectin conquering COVID in a very short period of time. Now, the wellness company has created an American version. It's being made in the United States. That's a big deal.
That's right. Wellness Company now has its own pharmacies, will produce its own ivermectin. We're not going to be held captive by, other pharmacies, and it's very, very competitively priced. Patients have to have reasonable indications in the doctor to prescribe it. But now we have control of the drug supply line. And, Trump's been working in Asia recently, Steve, and hopefully some of these conversations have to do with pharmaceutical drug security. And in trade relations, we can't be held captive by, an outside country.
That's right. He's in South Korea today doing more deals in Japan, Malaysia. It's happening all over. And, of course, with President Xi this week as well. A lot happening. Mm-hmm. If you want an answer for testosterone, if you want American-made ivermectin, if you want the best medical emergency kits on the market, Dr. Peter McCullough is among those putting them together at the Wellness Company. You can find out more at twc.health/Gruber, twc.health/Gruber. Doctor, great information today as always, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate it. There you have it. Big study. So my point to you would be, why would you take medications you don't need during pregnancy? Why would you give a child vaccines they don't need ever? That's why I like Dr. Peter McCullough. He gets it done. Again, the Wellness Company, my trusted partner in health, twc.health/Gruber. You can get all these, and these kits, by the way, have them on your counter, have them on your shelf. They're so important. When things get tight, you don't want to be caught short. The Wellness Company, twc.health/Gruber. I'll take a break and be right back.